the nature of the strategic decisions tends to be it is value oriented. So whatever the decision is been taken by the top level management, that is of value oriented. There are three levels of strategies. One is the corporate level, we have business level and functional level. In business level strategies, it is nothing but the stability, growth, expansion. These corporate level strategies mainly deal with what? They deal with the allocation of the resources. Hello students, a warm welcome to you all for the today's session. I, JWsir, Commerce Faculty, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. Dear students, so we'll be covering some of the topics here under this particular session 4, such as first and foremost, I would like to say that strategies are what? What are the strategies? Strategies are nothing but they are the decision making or the policies or the decision makings, or we say it is the ideas or the tactics which is being used or which has been implemented for the achievement of the organizational objectives, right? So strategies are being formulated at different levels of organization. So we have different levels in the organization, such as it may be top level, then we have middle level and the lower level. So here it says in these levels of organization, we can find there are different levels of organizations, that is the different levels which we see, such as corporate, then business and functional. So we have corporate level, then we have business level as well as at the functional level. So these are the three important levels in that particular organization where the strategies has to be taken into consideration in order to make a proper decision regarding the organization for the growth, for the development, then for the stability as well as to achieve the objectives of that particular organization. So under this particular corporate level strategies, it says this is the most important strategy or the important corporate level strategies which are very much important because they occupy the highest level of the position. They occupy the highest level of position, that is in making the strategic decisions, and also it says you can see that actions and whatever the dealings will take place in the object of achieving the objectives as well as acquiring whatever the resources, pooling of resources, we say pooling of resources or acquiring of resources or acquisition of resources as well as allocation of resources to various departments. It may be like for the finance, it may be to the advertising, it may be to the production, sales, like this. The resources have been allotted to various departments, and also the coordination of the strategies also to be taken into consideration because each department has to coordinate together. Without coordination, there is no organization where they can attain or fulfill the objectives of the organization. That is only through various SUBs, that is for optimal performance, that is to the maximum performance. In order to attain maximum performance, what the top level management will do, the top level management will see that they make a proper decisions regarding the particular organization in order to achieve the goals and the objectives of the organization. So here you can see the major, it says the nature of the strategic decisions. The nature of the strategic decisions tends to be, it is value oriented. So whatever the decision is been taken by the top level management, that is of value oriented. It should have some value. It should have some value for that particular decision which has been taken. Then it should be conceptual as well as less concentric than decisions, and it may be of business or at the functional level. So whether it is at the business level or at the functional level. So this corporate strategy is very, very important and the most pioneer strategy where it has to be implemented for the business level as well as for the functional level. So these are the three important aspects where the organization has to take into consideration. Now coming to the types of strategies. Students, I say that business should follow various different types of strategies. Why? Why it has to enter, or why the business has to follow different levels of strategies? Because in order to enter into the market, every organization has to strive that it has to take a proper decision, right? And follow various type of strategies to be implemented because they require, that is, they want to enter the market. To enter the market, you require the various business strategies, or the strategies has to be followed in every business. And also to stay and grow in the market. What is the stay and grow? Stay and grow means there should be stability in the business. There should be stability in whatever the business they are doing, as well as not only the stability, at a later stage, they should convert that into a growth and development of that particular organization. So the large number of strategies are being undertaken, where, because in order to see that these strategies are being employed in the business, in different business organizations, as well as it has been suggested by many authors, right? Now if you see, William F. Gluck and Lawrence, they discuss the various 4 different generic strategies, right? Such as, it may be the stability, the growth, and the retrenchment and combination. Now, what are these 4 generic important strategies which has to be followed under this corporate strategy? This is nothing but stability means, as the business is started, now slowly it has to move on, or it has to grow. But if there is no market for it, if there are no progress, then it should see that it should not try to go for the growth of the business, but instead see that it has to maintain the stability. So they should not go for a more maximization of the profit, or for the increased production, like this. So that is stability. They should see that they are in the stability stage. Later on, as it picks up, so as it gains the momentum, then it can be, there is a growth for the business, where they can increase their production, increase their resources, right? Then you can also see that production level increasing, effective and efficient management, and like this. Later on, as it grows, then sometimes it may come to a stage where there is a retrenchment. That means there is a decline in the growth of the business. When there is a decline in the growth of business, automatically you cannot increase your production, then you may not have the full resources, right? You may not be able to grow your business. In that case, then they should think about whether we should be in the same line of business, or whether we should maintain the stability, or we should come out of the business, that is disinvestment, right? Or we should have different combinations, like this. And combination is nothing but, it is where the business at the later stage, where they can merge, or they can acquire new businesses, or they can merge with other business and see that they are in the market. Now this strategy is also called as, we call it as grand strategies or directional strategies. Why we call it as grand or directional strategies? Because these are the strategies which will direct an organization, which will direct the top level management to see that there is an efficient and efficiency in achieving that particular objectives of the organization, right? So here Michael E. Porter, he suggests competitive strategies. So this person, Michael F. Porter, he suggests the various competitive strategies. That is, it includes what? Cost leadership, right? And differentiation, focus on cost leadership, as well as differentiation, which can be used by many corporates, right, for their different business limits. Now coming to this functional strategies. What are these functional strategies? Functional strategies are nothing but they are meant for the strategic management as distinct functions, such as functional means operating, we call functional or operational strategies. These are the strategies which is very much important on part of the management, because that will have different functions, such as in case of marketing. So in case of marketing, what are the decisions has to be taken regarding the marketing? What are the strategies has to be taken into consideration? What are the various strategies has to be implemented for improvement of your or growth of your market or market share or your market for your products, right? Then for the advertising, promotional tools, all this will be taken into consideration. The decision has to be taken into consideration in this particular strategy called as marketing strategy. And also financial strategy in this case, which are the resources where you can pull the resources, how it has to be allocated, how it has to be allotted, right? And how it has to be utilized, so without wasting, and which are the various important sources of finance, and how to reduce your cost of production. So all this has to be taken into consideration. So this strategy known as finance strategy is also very important part of the decision making. Then human resources, it is nothing but where the organization requirement of the manpower. So how much manpower is required for your organization, how much requirement, according to the requirement you need to recruit. Then you need to select the people, the workforce, which is very important. Without people, only machines cannot work on. So even to switch on a button for the machine, you require some people there. So you have to see that under this human resource management, you have to see how you are going to manage the human resource or the people who are working there. So first and foremost, you need to see that how they have been recruited, on what basis, according to the qualification, according to the experience, according to the technical knowledge, right? Then what are their compensation packages? So then what is the growth and development? Each and every aspect has to be taken into consideration, including the training for the workers or the employees who are working there. Then appraisal development, performance appraisal development, all this has to be taken into consideration under this human resource management. Then that is the strategies which has to be taken into consideration for this human resource. Then logistic, that is planning for your goods which has already finished, that is the finished goods. How you are going to store it, where you are going to store it, and how you are going to send it according to demand and supply. Then production unit, that is production strategies are strategies which have been very much important on part of every management, because according to demand there should be supply. So you need to see how much has to be produced, what should be the production, or what should be your outcome, putting in input, less input, and taking out maximum output. So all this under production, it comes under this functional strategies. So students, you can see the example here. A startup or a new enterprises might follow either a competitive strategy. So any organization, if you want to start a new organization or you want to set up a new enterprise, so that particular organization, then it has to follow the competitive strategy. What is that competitive strategy? That is entering the market where the number of rivals are there. So competition means you should see that, or you should imagine that there are many competitors for your product. It is not that only you are there in the market, single seller prevailing the market. No, it's not a monopolistic market. Here, for each product, there are so many numerous rival products will be there, and the rival competitors will be there. So how we are going to overcome their competition, and how we are going to face the competition, and taking your strength of your organization, utilizing the strength of the organization, making various strategies, right? How to gain the competition and how to be successful in gaining the competition, as well as to be number one in the market, right? So, and already operating, which is already operating, there are a number of rivals who are already operating in the market. So you need, when you enter as a new entrant, right, then you should face the competition. So you should be ready to face the competition. Then along with the collaborative strategy. So what are the various things you need to collaborate together, and what are the strategies you are going to take into consideration under collaboration? That is, it says enter into a joint venture with the established company. What is that collaboration? Collaboration is nothing but where you are going to entering, or you are coming together with the organization or an establishment which is already existing. So when you collaborate, then you can have more strength. You can face the competition in a very in a good manner, right? And with a competitive and a sportive manner you can undertake. So the various majority of startups are launched, right, on a small scale. So whenever you start a business, this particular organizations or establishment, when they start as a new entrant, then they will not come as a very big entrant or big establishment. It will be a small startups. They will start on a small scale. And the main strategy is what? The main strategy is to see that they have to penetrate into the market. What is that penetration? Penetration means they have to enter into the market. So only when you first enter into the market, then only you'll come to know what are the various marketing strategies, various things which is there in the market which you need to face. So they need to penetrate into the market, and also to see that they even reach the break-even stage, where at the earliest and later pursue the growth strategy. Break-even stage means where they can see that they enter the market and have that full strength using your opportunities, and with your strength you see that you gain the momentum in the market. Once you get the momentum, the stability, then you can think about the growth strategy of your organization or of your market. Now example here, you can see the Patanjali Ayurvedic. I have given a very good example for you students. There is Patanjali Ayurvedic. This Patanjali Ayurvedic, they adopted the market penetration strategy, right? How they have adopted a market penetration strategies, that is to be successful. How they are going to be successful? They concentrated on the products development. First, what they did, in order to enter into the or to penetrate into the market, they concentrated mainly on the product development. They saw that which are the products which is very much available and which is very much useful and which is having lot of demand, right? And which is very much having the most important on the health side. So they took the product development, concentration of product development, as well as high quality at a low cost. This is very important. So first and foremost, what Patanjali Ayurvedic they did, they concentrated on the product development. They started to produce a product, so the development thing they concentrated. Secondly, they said the product which they are manufacturing, that particular product should be of high quality. The product which has been produced by Patanjali Ayurvedic should be of high quality as well as at low cost. Why these two? These two are very, very important on part of your market penetration, because when you think about product production, that means is very important. You also have to think about your quality wise. Only when there is a good quality, the customers or consumers will be there for your product. If you have a low quality, no one is going to buy your product, right? And also at less cost. It should be a less cost. The cost of the particular product which you are manufacturing, the MRP should be less. Only then you can have the demand for your product. That is, I told you, market means, what is a market? Nowadays, according to new marketing, that is marketing view. According to modern marketing view, it says the actual and potential buyers. Market means the actual and the potential buyers. So if you want to have the market for your product, then you should have the low cost, a reasonable cost, as well as a good quality product, and it should be supplied according to demand. Then only you can penetrate into the market, or you can go and establish your base in that particular market. So it is now at the growth stage and is following the competitive strategies. Now already Patanjali Ayurvedic has already got a base, the foundation is been laid in the market. So now they are concentrating on what? They are concentrating on the growth and the competition. Now they want to increase their products, increase the market share, increase the production wise, right? And they want to see that they want to enter into the new markets. So like this, they are thinking about the growth and development of the market and the market share and the product, as well as they want to see that they have to face the competition. So this is how it is taken into consideration. So it is a competing with both domestic as well as international, that is multinational companies. Now the competition is so big where the Patanjali Ayurveda is concentrating now on facing the competition, that is using the strength and using the opportunities from the external environment, and see that they are facing the competition and thereby they are entering into the national level as well as through multinational companies also, that is in the international level also. So students, next is regarding the levels of strategies. What are levels of strategies? They see there are 3 levels of strategies. One is the corporate level, we have business level and functional level, right? So here you can see how this particular levels of strategies are being classified based on their level, then based on the stages of business life cycle, and based on competition. So based on the level, as I told you, it has corporate level, business level, as well as functional level. These are the 3 important levels of the strategies, right? Grand strategies we say. Now coming to the classification according to stages of business life cycle. First, as I told you, any business, if you want, then it has to have the entry stage or the introduction stage. Then it has to get into the market, that is market penetration strategy they have to follow. Then after market penetration strategy, they need to see the growth. They have to grow, right? Growth strategy or the expansion strategy, right? Then also after expansion, then there is a maturity strategies or maturity stage we say. So maturity stage, under that it is a stability strategy. So once there is a growth and expansion, then you need to see that you need to be stable in the market. So that is called the strategies which has been followed in order to have a stability or the stable in the market. Then the next stage will be the decline stage. As I told you, once there is a decline in the market for that particular product, then you have to see that there is a retrenchment and turnaround strategy has to be taken into consideration, right? Now coming to the competition, on the basis of competition, we see competition strategies, that is in means of cost wise, then in the means of leadership, how well the leadership is, then differentiation of the products regarding with the rival products, then focus on collaboration strategies, that is maybe joint venture or it may be merger, right, or acquisition and strategic alliances. So these are the various important basis on the levels of classification. Now students, here we can see the levels of strategies. What is the levels of strategies? A level of strategy is nothing but, see, a going concern or already established organization, right? It can continue with the competitive strategy. Already established companies or organization, it can start with the competition strategies or it can continue with the competition strategies because already it has penetrated into the market. And already there is a growth. Once there is a growth, it can start continue with the competitive strategies. So now it has to follow the strategies for competing with the rival products or the rival competitors, we say, right? Or in order or to restore to the collaborative strategies. Now if it is not able to face the competition, then it cannot come out of the market. What it has to do? The next is it has to try to have a collaboration with the other businesses which is having the same stage and also which is having the same business in order to see that there is a business growth. So only when you start with the business growth, then you will face the competition. So when you want to face the competition, if you are able to face the competition, you can do it on your own with your strength and taking the opportunities and see your considering your weakness as well as the threats from the outside world, right, or outside environment. So this business growth can be only taken into consideration when you start facing the competition, and when you are not able to face the competition, then automatically you need to see that you have to restore to collaboration, that is joint venture, merging with other companies of the same level and of the same business. Now this business conglomerates have multiple product portfolios, that is it may be at different functional levels such as corporate level, business unit level as well as functional level. And also this particular corporate level strategy is also very much known as grand strategies. I told you, what is this? They are called as grand strategies, which is why it is called as grand strategies, because in order to provide direction to the companies. So this corporate level strategies are nothing but they are also called as the grand strategies, where it will help the organization by giving the directions how to follow and how to enter into the market. Business level, coming to the business level strategies, they are the strategies which has been formulated, or that is for each product division, right, known as strategic business unit. So this particular business level strategies, they are very much important, and it has been formulated or it has been taken into action or put into action because that is for each product division, and which is also known as the strategies for business unit, right? Now how to implement? When you implement this corporate and business level, when you implement the corporate and business level strategies and functional strategies, all the three together, then they are formulated in what ways? In the business areas where it has been formulated, whether it is corporate level or it is a business level or at a functional level. All these three levels strategies are being taken into consideration, or it has been formulated in the business areas such as production or operations. So all these three has to be formulated together and it will be implemented in this particular area called as production, where you are producing your products, right, or at the operational level, that is at the floor shop. Then in the marketing area, that is where and how you are going to reach your products and to whom you are going to reach the products. So what are the strategies you are going to undertake regarding the marketing of your product, right? As well as the finance part, I told you which are the resources, how we are going to resources, or which are the sources from where you are going to get the resources, and whether you are going to invest again into various other new business areas, right? So all this has to be taken consideration. So the strategies which has been followed for finance part, then human resource, that is allocating according to the requirements of the organization, that is the manpower. Big corporate houses or big corporate organizations, they follow an elaborate system of strategies formulation. They have a very big dimensional areas where the strategies are been considered and they are formulated and also implemented, and it has been controlled at different levels of in the companies. Why they are doing so? In order to survive in the market, to have a market share in the market for the products, right? And to grow in a turbulent business environment. So why all this they are taking into consideration? The big corporate companies or the organization, why they are following the various strategies, right? And that is formulating and implementing as well as controlling them at different levels in the organization, because in order to see that they have to survive first, in order to survive in the market, then for the growth of the organization or the business, right? As well as because in order to face the turbulent business environment, that is competency will be there. So there is lot of competition. Turbulent means where it is very much wild, we say, or it is very much drastic. So it cannot be a normal one. It is very much drastic one. So this turbulent business environment has to be faced by the competition. That is the reason why these corporate companies or organization they formulate this kind of strategies and they implement them and also control them in the various levels of organization. Now coming to the corporate strategic categories. Students, now let us understand what is the corporate strategic categories. Under this we have 4 types. One is the stability strategy, that is having stable. So you are not going to increase, you are not going to expand, you are not going to grow, but you will be seeing that you want to first be stable, have a foundation base for your business without having expansion or any growth. Second is the expansion. It says expansion strategy means the strategies which is formulated and implemented in order to grow, that is for the expansion of your organization. Then retrenchment, where you see the decline in your business, so you may be coming out of that particular business, or turnaround we say, or we say disinvestments, taking out the investment or which you have invested in some of the business areas where there is no profit and there is no life for that particular business. Then combination strategies are nothing but, as I told you, these are the strategies where it is possible you can join together and do the business activities and in a collaboration with other businesses, as well as entering into a new business like this. Now the question arises in corporate level strategies is, what business are we in? What business are we in? Whether we have the whole organization is been in this particular corporate level strategies. What kind of business are we in? Now secondly, in business level strategies we can say, how do we compete? So in business level strategies, it is nothing but the stability, growth, expansion, it goes on like this, right? So how do we compete? How do we compete? What are the various strategies has to be taken consideration in order to compete with the rival competitors, right? It may be in kind of marketing, or it may be in kind of various production activities. It pertains to each business units or business line. So this particular business level strategies, it says how we are going to compete, and it will relate to each business unit or the products. So you have to take consideration each business unit, what are the business you are doing in, as well as the products which you are dealing with. Now under functional level strategies, it says, the question arises, how do we support the business level strategy? Which are the ways where we can support the business level strategies for this? Which are the levels or which are the ways we have, right? Which are the paths where we can help this business level strategies? So it says it pertains to major functional departments within the business units. So here the major thing here is functional development, that is functional departments, the functional departments which is there in the organization. So they have to coordinate together, integrate together in order to see that to compete in this business level strategies. These corporate level strategies mainly deal with what? They deal with the allocation of the resources. allocation of resources. Because allocating resources is very, very important on part of every organization. So it has to see that whatever the resources are there in the organization, it has to see that it has to allocate the resources to various departments according to the requirement of that particular departments, and also transferring the resources from one business to other. So it is not only just you are allocating the resources inside your organization, but if you are having other businesses, then how you are going to allocate them, how you are going to transfer them from one of business to another business, right? So such decisions are very much important, and they are taken in such a way that the organizational objectives are achieved. Now, why the question arises, why you need to allocate your resources, why you need to transfer your resources? That is in order to see that you have to achieve your organizational objectives, in order to achieve the goals or the targets of the organization. So for this, you require the resources, allocating of resources and transferring of resources from one department to another department, or from one business to another business. Here you have to formulate the various strategies, how we are going to allot the resources, how we are going to transfer the resources from one business to another business, right? So here the strategies will help you out. It will guide you. It will guide you in all the ways, in all the means, in order to run your business. So that is why strategies are required. That is why the policies are required. That is why the guidelines are required. I told you what is strategy. They are the guidelines. They are the guidelines. They are like the guides. Now, for example, when we want to do some research work, we cannot do it alone, right? We need somebody to guide us. So they will be like a guide to help us out in doing that particular research or that particular research work. Or a manager can also be a guide in the organization, right? So why we call him as a guide? Because he is the person one who will be helping, motivating, guiding, directing the employees or the subordinates in order to see that the work has to be done in a proper way, or it has to be done according to the plans of the organization, top level management. So that is why I say strategies gives the overall guidance to run the business. It is a guide, right, which will help you out how to run the business. What are the various aspects you have to take into consideration? What are the various tactics you have to follow in order to achieve your goals of the organization? So it describes the company's overall directions in terms of the general attitude towards growth, development, as well as how you are going to manage your business, and as well as it may be in the business as well as in the product lines which you are having in the organization. According to Gluck, there are 4 different strategic alternatives. We say this as strategic alternatives. Which are the 4 different strategic alternatives, right? It may be, we call it as expansion. First is expansion, then we have stability, retrenchment, and combination. I had already explained to you about this in this class. So these alternatives can be also classified as what? So classification of corporate strategies. First one, strategy for a change. You need some change. When you want some change, automatically you are going to follow some strategies. You will undergo some strategies, right? Then under this we have restructuring. Restructuring means you have to restructure your organization. So there is a change. When there is a change, then automatically there is a need for restructuring of your organization, restructuring of your plans, restructuring of your objectives or the goals, right? Or your policies, like this. Then turn around. Then secondly we have surgical. What is the surgical? Surgical means we know that operation. So we need to operate our business in different ways. Then we have disinvestment and liquidation. Disinvestment means it says taking out your investment, the amount, the capital which you have invested in one of the areas or where your business you have been put. Then liquidation, it is closing down of your business. So students, in today's session I have explained to you fully regarding all these various strategies. So I had explained to you about corporate strategies, then I had explained to you about the business level strategies, Thirdly, I explained to you about what is functional strategies. And also we saw the various alternatives to the strategies. So like we have for a corporate strategy, we have a change, that is structure for the change, then restructuring, then we have turnaround, surgical, non-surgical, disinvestment and liquidation, right? And also I had explained to you why these strategies are required. I explained to you why this particular strategies are required, what are the importance of it, then the question arising in each of these levels of strategies I had explained to you. So here I had explained to you which are the different categories coming under corporate strategies, that is stability, expansion, retrenchment and combinations. I gave the example of Patanjali, that is for the growth and how it has been, it has already been entered into the market, penetrated into the market. Now it is in the growth and the competency stage, or it is having lot of competition. It is competing with your domestic as well as in the multinational companies. And I explained you about the levels of strategies, which are the various levels, the base of classification according to level, then according to the business stages of business cycle, then competition. So we under level we have corporate level, business level and function level. Then under stage of business cycle, entry stage or introduction stage, then we have market penetration, growth stage, then growth and expansion strategies is followed, then maturity stage, under that we have stability strategy, then decline stage, retrenchment and turnaround strategies. Under competition, I explained to you about the competition in regarding with the cost of the product, then the leadership, differentiation between the products, then focusing about the collaboration strategies, that is joint ventures, mergers as well as acquisition and alliance strategies. Thank you.